Hello everybody, welcome back to another session with me, and today we are going to work on this project, and probably it's either we do the same thing, the same scene setup, or come up with a new one. So I'm thinking of this one right here, how best we can do it to fit a scene like this. This was a project I did in 2021 with Design B. It was a contest for the new Fun Eyes label, and he decided to send his submission, so I helped with the 3D models. And I still have those labels around, and I decided to come up with a tutorial for it for all of us to learn from it. And so we dive right into Cinema 4D. For us to start the modeling of the container, we'll have to bring in an image or a reference image of the container, which I have already downloaded from Google, and we'll go into our quad view and then go to the front view, then go to view at the top here, and then go to configure. When you click on configure, this option in this attributes panel is made available for you. Then you click on back. When you click on back, it's either you click and drag the reference image here into this space, or click on the folder icon here and it will take you to your file explorer to search for the image wherever you've kept it. And so I would like to click and drag mine. Click, drag, and drop it. Now I will reduce the transparency, and then we are going to achieve this shape of the container with a primitive shape, which is cylinder. So we'll go and click and hold the cube icon here and then click on cylinder. Now we have a cylinder in the space. We are going to adjust the cylinder to suit the size of the reference image. We will reduce the height segment to 1, which means we have one at the top and then one at the bottom. We will add up just in case we have to. And so the next thing we are going to do is make this primitive shape editable. But then before we make it editable, we are going to click on caps here and then disable the caps. So when you go to the perspective view, as soon as we disable the caps, the shape is made hollow. Initially when the caps was on, it was closed. We will make the shape editable by hitting on the make editable icon here or on C on the keyboard. So we'll click on it and go into our edge mode and then use rectangular selection to make a selection of it down. Click and drag, then the scale tool, which is T on your keyboard, to scale it. Do same for here, and then bring it up a bit and then scale it again. Now the image here is not to the right proportion, so we have to do an eyeballing of how best the container should look like. Now I feel this is okay, and so we will go to our perspective view, and then we would like to close the base, and so we will click on right click, and then there's an option here that says close polygon hole. Now we're going to click on it, and the moment we hover on it, it is showing a sign that we can close the hole. As we close it, we have no segment at the base, but when we look in our attributes panel, there is an option that is showing polygon type. So the polygon type we are having here right now is a basic one. We can choose a grid or we can choose a patch. We will undo, and then before we close the hole, we are first of all going to scale the selection by holding Control to scale it in. And then when we have something like this, now we are going to close the polygon and then give it a grid. I think this one works. Now the next thing is going to be smoothing out the edge here, but then before that, okay, we will smoothing out the edge by double clicking on the edge here to make a selection, and I'll go for the bevel tool to bevel out the edge we have here. And so we have, the moment you click and hold, it will do the bevel for you, but then it is still sharp. So this is what we are currently doing, is the offset, and so we are going to redo it and then add some subdivisions. And now when we added the subdivision, the edge of the container is smoothing out, but then we are not done. We have to make the container or add some thickness to the container. Currently we don't have a proper reference image than this, so we don't actually know how the top looks like, but then we can do some few adjustments to make it feel right. And so we'll click on the top, probably scale in, scale in a little bit, and then drag to the top. Then we are going to add some thickness to this container. So currently Cinema 4D has an option for thickness, and this is it right here. It's called thicken, or we'll go to our subdivision area, and then it is also here called thicken. So I think we'll go for this, drop it inside this, and then this is what we have. It has given us some thickness to the container. We can reduce the amount of thickness. We don't need that much, so we'll do like 4. Now we are going to work on the cover of the container. So same, we are going to bring in a cylinder, probably hide this one, and then adjust the size of it, move it to the top. Now I think I have to bring it back so that I'll see what we are doing. So we are going to have like 3 steps, 1, 2, and then 3, and then the inside. And so the next thing we are doing right now is to make this container here to editable. before we make it editable, disable the caps and then make it editable. After making it editable, okay, the container cover is now sitting in the right position, so we are going to do just that to make it sit in the right position. Let's look around, increase it a little bit. Now this is what we have, and then we'll go to edge mode. Probably get rid of this line. We'll dissolve it and select this one, bring it down, scale it inside, control scale drag, then control drag to extrude. Then we will scale it again. Then this time around, scale, control scale, then control drag. Then now we'll do the top, control scale, we'll look at what is happening here. Now from what we have here, we will have to scale it down, control drag inside. Then there's another one, we will scale, control scale. Then the last one, control drag it down, and then control scale. Now as we scale, we'll have to close the hole here, so we'll go and click on close polygon hole, close it, and now we have this. Then we will have to add some thickness to this one as well, so go for thickened and then drag it in and give it a 4 like we did for the first one. Now the edges of this look rough, and so we will group this and put it inside a null, and then go and create a subdivision and drop it inside. Now this is what we have, but then we'll have to make a few cuts to make it feel right. And so for this one, the top, we'll click on it, on the original shape, and then do some loop cuts. So we'll do a loop cut here. Yes. And another loop cut at the top. Then another one here. Yes. Possibly we can create another one here. And then we'll look at the base. I think this is okay. And so Probably increase the subdivision to like 3, and then we have this. And now we are done with the modeling of the container. And so the next thing to do or look at is the labels. We are using Corona renderer for this work, and we'll go and create our labels, bring in our labels. Before we do the labeling, we'll select, let me hide this, let me name it. Let me do cup and base. So we'll select this, hide the cup, and make a cut, possibly at the top here. Yes. Then we'll make a selection of this space. Select everything, and now we'll go and save the selection for this. And so we'll go to select at the menus here, and then we will store the selection. The reason why I'm storing the selection is that anytime we click out and then select and we want to, that is where we are going to put the label. So if we want to get the selection back, we don't have to go through the same process of selecting again. So we store the selection to keep it. Now the next thing we are going to do is create our first material from Corona, and we are going to use legacy material. Click on legacy, and then double click on the material. From here we are going to use diffuse, and so I already have my container here. Click and drag, drop it, and now with the selection we've made, we will drag and drop. Now the selection is looking weird, so if you want to have a high resolution view of it, you click, go to view, and then increase the number. And now this is it. The next thing we are going to do is try and adjust the selection to fit the spaces left. And so we are going to look at the projection of the material and probably use cylinder. And then with the cylinder made, we will, I think that we will undo. And now let's make a subdivision for each, so that will be easy. So I'll name this cup, and I'll name this base. I'll drop this one into this. How many selections do I have? Okay. So now I'm going to make this one connect the object, and then now as the object is connected, I can make the selection again, and now add some more selections. So it's going to be a loop selection. UL on your keyboard, click, select and now we can drop the material on it, and then we need a high resolution view, so we'll go to the preview as we did and then see what is happening. Okay, so this is what we have. So at this point, the selection is seen both on the outside and the inside, and it's either we click here to check, or the selection was done both for the inside and the outside. So we'll delete everything and redo the selection again. UL on your keyboard, click select, and then drop it. Think now it works perfect. So the next thing we are going to do is do same for the cap. We are going to connect the objects and then close this. So we'll close all the selections. So cap. Now we are going to make a material for the cap too. So we'll click on this, double click, and the diffuse we are going to drop inside it, the top material. So we'll drop it, and then make a selection for the top, UL, and for the inside we are going to just click and then make selection. Now we are going to drop this, and the material looks off, so we'll have to adjust this from the projection and see. Okay, so we are going to go with a cubic. Now with a cubic, we will go to the texture option up here, click, and now scale it to fit. Then this is blurred out, so as we did for the first one, go to the preview and increase the number, and then it will look just right. Now we are done, almost done with the texturing. The only thing is this is white, so we are going to create another material which is just a white material. Change the diffuse to white and add some reflection to it and increase the glossiness. Just drop them and then move them to the back. Now we are done, and so we can duplicate this container and then change the materials for all four containers, so that it will be a bit faster. So I'm going to group everything with the material. This one we will have to add a bit of glossiness to it. Reflection, glossiness. So let's do like 50. And same for this. Okay, I need to save the work. Now I'm going to connect again both, then hide this one. So at this point I'm going to group the ones that I have connected. Now everything is in one, and so I'm going to name it Fun Ice, and then make a duplicate, then duplicate these materials. Now with this one, I'm going to drop the chocolate inside it. Okay, I'm going to the diffuse. Drop the chocolate inside it. And then do same for this. So we'd like to use this one. Change the material, just click and drag in. And then do same for this. As we are done with this one, and so we have 1, 2, 3, 4 for the containers. Hide everything. Then, so the very thing we are even going to do first is to bring in a cube. I don't know how big the cube, okay, use one of these as a reference. Now I'm going to make the cube editable. Delete the face here and possibly, okay, we are going to leave the top and we will increase the size. Take it back a little bit. Then the next thing to do is bring in the stone. So I'm going to check the downloads for this one. I already have some downloaded. I think I'm going to use this. And then the interesting thing is they come in with the textures readily made available, so there's no need to retexture. And so we are going to use the place tool to place it on the ground. I may want to adjust the side a little bit. And then make the stone a bit bigger. Make a copy. So with all the containers I've created, I want to scale it down. Now we are going to look for a log. Okay, we don't have anything like that here. wood. We'll probably create that one later on, so let's move on to the next thing. So the next thing we are going to do is to place the containers. So go to our reference image. There's another stone at the back, but then we'll create that one later. So let me place this. Possibly place this one. I don't know, but I'm doing something that will work. If it doesn't work, we'll have a solution to it. Let me just place them first. The stone, I have to look for another one. I'll bring this one inside. C4D. Okay. Small, so we have to increase the size. And then place this one too on the ground. Now, we'll probably try and then mount this one on this. Make it bigger. And then see if we can set. If we can't set, we'll go the normal way of placing. Now the next thing is to help one of these to sit on top of this one. So let's see, I think this looks okay. Then, last but one, we'll put these two inside the middle space here. And see if we can do a proper composition for it. So I think we are almost getting there. The next thing to do is to bring in some grasses, which I feel like I should make my own. And so I have this down already. I could easily use one of these, but I would like to go this route. So my grass is in, and it is very tiny. I think that is cool. Now I'll bring in a Cosmos scatter so that I can be able to scatter the work on the surface. Eyedropper tool and select it. So now it is selecting my entire cube, which is not something I want to do. So I will just close this one first, reverse the face for this, and now go back and make the selection again and use this as my scatter face. Bring back my cube and possibly hide this one. So this is what we have. Now it's okay to make go to the render settings and make Corona the render for this work. So I'll save and just go into the interactive render. Okay. And now nothing seems to be going on because we don't have any lights in the scene. So the very first thing we are going to do is to bring in a Corona sun. Now we are going to try and do a global lighting inside here. So the very thing we will need is a corona sun. Now the sun is way up, so we are going to drop it, or possibly play along the direction and the rotation of the sun to see the attributes, to see how best we can place the sun. Yes. So we would like to drop the sun a bit, increase the size of the sun. And just work around the rotation. I think this is something we would like to work with, because we are trying to create a global slide for this one. Now we would like to see how our grasses are doing, and we'll increase the size of the grass just to get a proper view of it. Yes. And then the next thing we want to do is to create a plane which is going to serve as our global slide. And so we'll rotate it, make it bigger, and later on assign a corona tag to it, so that it will not be visible in the render scene. So I already have a global slide, an image that is going to serve as our global slide, and this is it. So I'm going to drop it, make a material of it, and then drop it inside the diffuse. The same, I'll make a copy of it and put it into opacity. Now I want it the other way around, darks to be what to show here, so inverse it from white to dark. So I'll go to click on this button and go to colorize, and then in the colorize I'm going to change it from this to that. Now I'll drop it as a material for this. Give this a corona tag, corona compositing, then let it not show in camera. And so we have to work around this to make our lights go through it, our sun go through it, so that we can have that. Yes, so this is exactly what we want, but then wait, undo. Yes, this is what we are looking at getting, the result we are looking at getting. So now I'm going to set a camera, corona camera, for my work. So camera, look inside my camera, And then if you've always been a fan of telly, and so I'm going to go that direction. So I will try and undock this because it's interfering with my work, and also hide this so that I can do a proper positioning of the whole thing. But then I'm going to change my preset to an A4 portrait. Then I'll zoom in to position my work. Now I want to position the box as well in this direction so that I'll get the view like this. The next thing I want to do is go back and check my render and see everything seems to be gone. Okay, the sun is gone. So yeah, we need to decrease the light, and also if possible bring back this plane a little bit. We need to decrease the intensity of the sun and check how our work is doing. At this point we still need some lighting inside the work, and so we are going to create an actual light. So this is the light. Give it a tag so that it can look at my object. Put one of these inside it, and then let's see what is happening. Okay, since I brought in the other light, it is working much better, so we'll try and bring in more lights. And the next light, the tag, I'm probably going to give this one as a tag. And with the lights too, I want to hide the lights so that they don't show inside the work. Now I want the light cast on the wall. But this is pretty much it. You have to adjust the whole work till you get something that you are okay with, like how you see it in this scene. And so probably decrease my plane. Or bring it down. Let me see. Let me dock back this one. And then try and adjust the lighting again. So the very thing we want to do is adjust these lights. Do same for this one as well. the plane seem to be good. So I will increase it, sorry, so that we can have a proper spread. Yes, this is exactly what I'm looking for. Probably increase it a little more. Now, the next thing is to have a lot more light inside the scene. So I'm going to increase this one. Yeah, and probably adjust this one as well. Let's see what we have here. Try a different angle so that we can have an even yes. So I think we are almost there, and so I'll still have to decrease the intensity of the light, probably to 20. And then the last thing I'll maybe do is to get a material for my wall. There is yes, I'll bring this one inside C4D. I'm sure it's already in. Drag and drop on the plane. Oh, I placed it on the wrong plane, the cube. The color is a bit dark. I want it plain, and probably channel it into the, okay, this is weird. I think this is okay for me. I don't know about you guys, but I think this is okay for me. So the next thing I'm going to probably work around is the grass here. And because the rendering is this is a preview of it, so it's not giving the actual rendered quality. And so I'm going to stop the rendering and start it again. So now at this point it is going to give me an actual high quality version of the work for us to see what we have done, if it works. And we will have to adjust one or two things. That if we want to also have a depth of fill inside the work, we can do same for this one. My grass is still messy, and that is not what I want. It looks off. I don't know if you guys can see the same thing I'm seeing, but then my grass looks off, and so I will have to rework it to get exactly what I'm looking for. If not, I have to go and bring in the other thing. This part looks so sharp. So what I'm going to do is go outside my camera, select this, the edge and bevel it. I already have subdivision of 8, so the bevel looks quite okay. Now go back and stop the rendering and then start rendering again. So after beveling it, this is what we have, and honestly speaking, it needs a little bit of reworking with the grass, and this space is too much up there, so we will have to do the positioning of the whole thing again to get a proper angle. And so we'll go back into the view, or go this direction instead, because the whole thing seems to be at the base instead of balancing the scene. So go back to my camera and probably use a normal. No, I like to still use this. I think I can work around it. Take this thing to the back a little bit because it is overshadowing the others. Bring this one here. Maybe that is what is causing the problem. And then next thing is to stop the rendering and go back to interactive renderer again. And work around the grass, the scatter. So we have a scatter of, let's see, surface. Let me bring this down to like 200. My sun is off and my plane too is off, so obviously that is the result I'm going to get. Okay, this is okay. The lights were off too. I think that one of the lights needs to go down. No, it is way down. And the scatter, I don't know, but I need to bring up the grasses a little bit so that they can show. Now at this point, I don't know what is causing it to look that way.